Lately, I've been thinking about my approach towards getting better at drawing. If you're interested in this kind of subject, you probably heard this a million times in a million different ways about the 10,000 hours rule. There's actually, if you're interested in that, there's actually a Facebook group that it's related to that, and it's a bunch of people trying to get better at their craft, and they post regularly their work and get critiques and so on and so forth. So if you're interested in that, go check them out. Within this idea, what I've been thinking about was this concept of strategic practice versus mindless doodling. What do I mean by this? With mindless doodling, I'm guilty of this myself, as I often find myself drawing without a specific goal in mind. You basically pick a pencil or your tool of choice and you just let it rip and draw as much as you want for as long as you want. You can do a 10,000 hours of that, and you probably will get better at some point. But the issue with that is that you can also find yourself spinning your wheels over and over without getting a considerable amount of traction. With that said, when it comes to strategic practicing, or that's what I'm calling it for the sake of this video, it's way more focused. What I mean by this is that, let's say you want to learn how to draw a portrait or portraits, it's your main focus. What you would like to do is figure out where do the eyes go, how does that relate to the nose, where does the mouth comes in relationship to the rest of the features of the face, how all those proportions relate to each other. And if you focus on those specific things over time, you get better at that specific thing in a shorter amount of time. So that's the idea behind the strategic practice. You will be able to get more traction in a shorter amount of time, and once you get better at that specific thing, you can move on to the next one. Having said that, of course, there's true to the fact that you still need to put in the mileage, and with that comes also the fact that you also need a lot of patience to do this, because every now and then, doesn't matter how much you put in an effort to make the drawing as good as you want it to be, there's gonna be a terrible drawing. And the thing with that is just perfectly fine. You're gonna get those bad drawings no matter what. It's perfectly fine. You just keep going. And eventually, over time, you're just gonna have less and less of that once you start to get more proficient at the skill that you want to acquire. It's just a part of the process. I've been doing this for a really long time, and you just accept the fact that it's gonna happen. You're gonna get a drawing that you're not gonna like, or a few that you're just gonna hate. So don't dwell on that, and I would say just keep moving forward. Over time, also, the other thing that happens is that you look back at your previous projects and you're gonna see the flaws in all your previous projects because you already passed that skill gap already. So you're in a different skill level than when you originally did that thing. So it's a really common thing for artists to look back at their work and not like it because they're constantly looking to improve. And that's, I would say that's actually how any skill work. Whatever skill you want to acquire, it's the same concept. You have to put in the time, and if you're really specific about how you approach that, you can get better in a shorter amount of time. Of course, there's always differences between all of us. Everyone is different, and you might get different results, but overall, whatever skill you want to acquire, that same principle applies. I hope this concept or this video helps you in some way. If it did and you feel I've earned this, consider subscribing. It helps me a lot, it makes my day, and it's completely free for you. Also, if you're interested, I add links in the description of this video to my illustrated deck of cards that I made some time ago. I'm really proud of it, and it ships around the world. Well, I would say like 80% or 90% of the world. You can get your deck of cards shipped right to your doorstep. With that said, my deck of cards is about my home country, Venezuela. So if you're interested in that, please check it out. Also, I leave links in the description of this video to my Redbubble shop that has a bunch of my artwork with a lot of really nice merch. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you next time. Bye.